If you've been following me on Facebook, you would have seen I've just recently got set up to monitor the rain radar signals, or attempt to, on 5.625 gigahertz. The first couple of nights was interesting, and I've been able to set up this like strip recorder on Spectrum Lab. And last night I came into the room, and the signals were just huge signals coming from the Yarrawonga radar, which is about 126 kilometres to my southwest, and seeing some signals up to about S9 plus 40 on the meter. So it was quite amazing to see, and it also appeared to indicate some enhancement that I wasn't able to pick up, like using FM broadcast frequencies, which I might usually do, and nothing on 2 meter whisper showing up out of the ordinary, or any other beacons like that. But there was some interesting conditions last night, which was also highlighted on the LoRaWAN stuff that I've been doing. But anyway, I just thought I'd just run through this strip chart here of the signal strength of the Yarrawonga beacon just quickly. This was started, it looks like it was around 1300 UTC, and I'm not 100% sure what time that actually is, local time. I think it's probably 11 o'clock or something like that. But anyway, so you can see the signals here were actually fairly big, and you can't see the end of the graph here, but I don't know if I can pan around there a bit. You probably won't be able to read that anyway because it's too much of an angle there, but the graph there is going up to, I've had to actually extend it up to 50 dB, 50 dBm, and the top line's 50, the second line down is 40, and the third line down is 30. So we'll just start going across here, and you can see the initial low-level scan of the radar is the pink signal there, which is actually on a slightly different frequency than the rest of the elevation scans going up, and starting off there at about 40 dB range, and then the other signals were all just sort of going back down. But as we move along here, you can see the graph there. There's some black underneath the green. That was the signal was just virtually constantly there, no matter where the radar was beaming. It was rising up and down slightly, but it never actually disappeared completely. So and it got even more so just here, and you can see the actual noise level, which is the lower part there, just nearly disappeared off the graph. And you're looking at there nearly about 45 dB on the sync signal, and it's just held there for a fair while, and then started to slowly come back down. Looking at 1700 UTC there, and it's getting weaker and weaker. Even now the sync signal has lost probably nearly 15 dB since midnight or so there. 1800 UTC, 1900 UTC, and it's just getting weaker. And slowly up and down, pretty weak there in the middle of the screen, and then it's starting to come back up a little bit. It's about real time now. So yeah, it seemed to pick up a bit of enhancement there that I didn't pick up on anything else, which was interesting to observe. So, but I did notice, just a second, I did notice on the actual the Doppler radar webpage from Yarrawonga that there was a lot of kind of what would you call interference type signals due to tropo between me and the radar. So that was it was interesting to observe the big signals there, and also see the reflections going back to the radar, most probably from ground or hills between me and the radar. So yeah, and this is what I'm looking at here this morning. There's sort of bits of rain and mist and stuff coming across from the west, and it's possibly dropped the signal down because of the attenuation there being sent back to the radar. So yeah, anyway, I'll keep looking at this and see what else I can pick up from it in the way of signal enhancement from tropo and other things like that. And I'm also going to try and see if I can pick up some more distant radars rather than the local, semi-local Yarrawonga radar. So I'm hoping to have a bit of a look for Melbourne, maybe Mount Gambier. There's a new one called Rainbow, north of Hamilton, I think, or Horsham, in Victoria, and also Mildura. I think the Adelaide ones are on the other side of the Adelaide Hills, so that probably is not going to be any good there. But just being able to receive these other distant ones is going to depend on the selectivity, I guess, or the beam width of the dish. If it can block out side signals received from Yarrawonga, or else I may not be able to identify whether I'm picking up something more distant or not. But anyway, I will keep observing and report back with any more findings that we get.